Hello, welcome to What's Your Talent by the Sessions. God bless you for taking the time to watch our video. And also, I would like to apologize for not posting a video in a long time. That was because of training and responsibilities here and there. My aim and goal was to post often to share this amazing testimony that God has blessed my family and I with. But in all, we give thanks to God for making it possible for me to be able to record another video to share this amazing testimony. God bless each and every one who took the time to remind me that it's been a while since I last posted a video. God bless you for always watching, and I pray that this video, as always, will be a blessing to you. From the last time I recorded a video, I mentioned that he pulled out his trach twice, and thankfully nothing was damaged. Glory be to God. They had to put it back, and then they started a weaning off process that was taking him off the ventilator and then helping him to breathe on his own. The trach was still there though, but to help him breathe on his own. So that process was successful, and as the day he was able to breathe on his own for 24 hours, I was excited. I was extremely happy and grateful to God for that blessing. And so I went to visit with him, and we were talking. There was a knock on the door, and it was a case manager. She told me she wanted to talk with me. I was like, okay, well, he's been weaned off the trach, so I know it's good news. Nothing could possibly go wrong today. So she called me to her office, and she said, oh, by the way, because he's not on the ventilator anymore, he needs to be transferred to another facility. And I said, what do you mean she needs to be transferred to another facility? And she said, well, our job was to wean him off the ventilator, and that is done. That has been done. So we need to send him to a facility to do rehab. And I said, okay. So she gave me a list, about 6 or 8 facilities, and she told me these were the facilities that insurance approved for him to go to. And also, most of the facilities that she called, they told her they would not be able to take him because he still had the trach. And most rehabs don't take care of trach, or they don't have that ability to take care of the trach. Should anything go wrong, or should he be on a ventilator, they don't have that, so they cannot do that. And I said, so why can't he stay here? And she's saying, oh, insurance cannot pay anymore. And that insurance situation would be a conversation for another day. So she gave me the list, and we came down to 2. We only had 2 options. One of the facility was about 3 hours away, and the second one was 2 hours 45 minutes or close to that. And so I asked her, so this facility that you want me to agree to send him to, what if something happens? Let's say he goes there, we have an emergency. She said, oh, they can bring him to the city. I said, the city? She said, yeah. You've got to be kidding me. So that facility that you're sending him to is not even a hospital. It's a rehab about 3 hours away. And should anything happen, he is, very far from all the hospitals. And she said, yeah, but that's the only option. That is the only one the insurance will pay. So I went back to the room to talk to my husband, because 3.5 hours, I was, trying to factor in the travel time, how much time I can get to spend with him, and most importantly, his health. Because if I felt like they just, at that point, wanted to, just get out and move on to the next one. We don't want you to be our responsibility anymore. At least that's how the vibe that I was getting. And so I told my husband, okay, this is the situation. This is what the nurse is doing. Deep within my heart, I did not want him to go anywhere. But this is an issue between insurance and the facility. So I told my husband about it. We prayed. And shortly after that, he started complaining of stomachache. It's like, wow. So the joy of weaning him off lasted for just a brief moment. And there comes the issues, one after the other. I'm smiling and laughing now, but at that point, it's like, this is not even funny. So I talked to him, we prayed, and he started complaining that, hey, my stomach is hurting. I'm in a lot of pain. And you can tell when somebody's in pain. I mean, even his breathing. I'm not a nurse, but I spent a lot of time with him, and I know him. So whenever there's something, a slight change in his actions or certain things that he do, I see it first. And sometimes when I tell them, it takes time for them to really come to terms with what I'm talking about. So I told them, hey, he's complaining of his, stomach ache and all that is going on. I told them about it. So we talked to the doctor. They did their thing. And then the doctor came, looked at him and said, okay, he'll be fine. They gave him stool softeners because they assumed he wasn't able to do number 2. So that's why they were giving him all that. They did all that, nothing worked. Oh, you need to give it time for those things to work. I said, okay. So I was patient enough till the following day, still complaining. I said, okay, now I wasn't rude or anything, but I was firm and upset that, hey, so you are giving him something. It's not working. He's complaining about the same thing. Try something else. Do an MRI, a scan. Why don't you go in there and take a look to see what's going on? But remember, they're already in the process of getting us out of there. So I don't think they were not really in a hurry to do anything to keep you there, because they don't have any reason to keep you there anyway. They're trying to move you to be somebody else's responsibility, and now you're complaining of stomach ache. So I don't know if they think, or at that moment they thought, oh, he's making that up, or I don't know. This is all just speculation. From where I stood, I just thought they were dragging their feet. They didn't want to do anything, and I don't know what they were thinking or how they felt. But either ways, they didn't do the scan. So that was the second day. They gave me 48 hours. So the second day, I would say our time was up. We got to go. So I told the nurse, I think the case manager, I was upset. This time I told him, we need a CT scan. Until he is, good and feeling better, we're not going anywhere. And I know you cannot kick me out. By law, you cannot kick me out of here unless he is feeling better, unless he's in the condition to really go. I didn't want to get to that point, but I was pushed to get to that point that we're not going anywhere. And so they did a CT scan, MRI, sorry. They did an MRI. The doctor did an MRI, and I was in his room waiting when they took him there. Within, I think they took, don't quote me on the time, it's been a while, so I don't remember exactly how much time, but let's say 30 to 45 minutes later, when they brought him and when they rushed him, the doctor was following him. Usually when they do the scans and all that, they will bring him first, and then the doctor will come around to talk to me. This time around, while the nurses were pushing him to the room, I saw the doctor following. I said, there is something wrong. So as soon as they pushed him, the doctor came to me, we need to do an emergency surgery, like right now, today. So I sent his scan to the hospital, the main hospital. So we have to, EMSA is on the way to transport him to the hospital. He needs to have a surgery ASAP. It's like, wow. He said within 48 hours, being off the ventilator, he's breathing on his own, everything is going well. All of a sudden, one great news and two terrible news that followed it. But all in all, in that time, God was good. He's good. Good times or bad times. In that moment, I wasn't smiling like I'm doing now. It's, I was just wondering, I was just wondering, what is going on? And I thank God that at that difficult time, God helped me to even remember to pray. Because I remember I held his hand, we prayed, and prayed, because that's all I got. God was my everything. So I held his hand, we prayed, and you could tell he was in pain. So his blood pressure started dropping, and because of how much pain he was in, and really started getting weak while we were waiting for EMSA to come and transport him to the hospital for an emergency surgery. I don't know what situation you're facing in that moment. it felt like, what is going on? You know, in difficult moments, you want answers real quick. You want God to come through right there. You want answers right away. You want him to be healed overnight. You know, after you're done praying, you want to hear that he's done almost, you don't need the surgery and all that. But I would say I thank God for allowing this to happen. I will not have it any other way. I thank God for everything that we went through. I thank God for all the struggles. I thank God for the moment that your heartbeat stops for a moment. Your heart stops breathing. It stops for a moment. But during all that difficult times, I knew God was with us. I knew not one moment that I thank God had forsaken my husband and I knew he was with me for some reason. That comfort was always there. That his presence, I could always feel his presence, even when I wasn't seeing answers right there and then. So today, I will end it here before EMSA got there to transport him to the hospital for the emergency surgery. And I would like to say, God bless you, no matter what situation you were in. Always remember that God prepares us for, he prepares us for every situation. And when the test happens, or when the test is going on, remember the teacher or the invigilator is always quiet watching. So in the heat of the moment, in that most difficult time, during the test, the final test, during the mock, during the big test, if you don't hear him, if you pray and you want an answer real quick and you don't see anything or hear anything, don't lose hope. Remember, as you're taking the test, the invigilator, the teacher, the master is always quiet, watching, because he knows he's prepared you for it and he knows what you need to do. So God bless you for watching, and we'll continue next week. Have a